Okay, good afternoon. I'm going to do a cook along with Come Cook With Me, and we're going to deep fry cod. Now, you know England, you hear of fish and chips. I got the recipe, okay? So what you're going to need for when we do this, I'm hoping to do it by Wednesday. I'll let you know a day ahead of time. You need 1 3/4 cup of all-purpose flour. You're also going to have to find 6 tablespoons. We're going to need potato flour. You might not be able to find potato flour in the supermarket. Try to get to a health food store. If you cannot find it there, you're going to have to order it. I think Amazon will have it, so I'm letting you know ahead of time where you can pick up the potato flour. This is why I'm going to hold off, because I don't think you're going to be able to get everything. If I don't make it this week, it'll definitely be next week or towards the end of this week to give you time to get it. So you need regular flour. We're going to need potato flour. Do not pick up potato starch. They are not interchangeable. You're going to have to absolutely get potato flour. All right? You're going to need a bottle of beer. I know. I'm going to be using a Guinness that my son has, so that's a darker Guinness. You're going to also need eggs. You're going to need oil. We're going to need milk, and we're going to need pepper. All right? So you know we're going to be frying this, deep batter frying this, so we're going to need a lot of oil in order to do it. You only need 4 6-ounce cod fillets. But knowing the way my family eats, I got 6 of them instead of 4. So I will repeat that again. You need 4 6-ounce cod fillets. I'm going to repeat the whole thing, what you need again. You need 4 6-ounce cod fillets. You're going to need you're really going to need all-purpose flour. You're going to need potato flour. That's going to be the one that will give you a problem. You're going to need a bottle of beer. I'm going to use Guinness's. You're going to need egg. You're going to need more. You need oil. You're going to need milk, and you're also going to need salt and pepper. And if you're making chips, we're going to have Idaho potatoes are very dry potato. Idaho is usually the driest, and that's probably what I'm going to be using. So if I don't get it this week, I'll definitely give you a week to give you time. Thank you, Sarah. That will give you time to be able to do what you have to do to get those things. And we will be making fish and chips, okay? Hi, Lily. Give me a minute. I'm going to put this up, and then I'll tell you exactly what we're making. This was just to give you an idea of what's coming up so you know what to look for. I'll also make it short probably tomorrow and inform people who see the shorts that you need this so we can do a Come Cook With Me, and we will be making fish and chips. I'm also going to get the guts to start trying to make pasta by scratch. Hi, Lily. TSN, how are you? From India. Okay. All right. What we're making now, well, I have a lot of things I have to make. I've got to make cottage cheese. I'm going to make a spread. This spread is made with paprika. It's made with carrots. I think it's got onions in it. It's got cream cheese. So I have a lot of things. I don't think I'm going to get the spread done today. I might get that done tomorrow. Hi, Gary. Good afternoon. But what we're making right now is going to be salted nut rolls. These are actually cookies, okay? Wait till you see what we have to put in these things. Now, I did not have time to make more marshmallows. I usually make those in the autumn because we'll have hot chocolate throughout the winter, on really cold days. So I bought them. Now, I read every last package. Don't you love it? Sometimes I just can't get things done. Now, I know corn syrup, you need sugar, you need water, and that's how you pretty much, and you add flavoring, it's usually vanilla for your marshmallows, okay? So that's pretty much what you need. But here's what they add. Now, listen to all the added ingredients. Corn syrup, sugar, modified food starch. Huh? What? Gelatin? Huh? Water, yeah, I agree. Dextrose, dextrose is a sugar. What kind of sugar it is? I think it's a synthetic sugar. Yeah. Then they say natural and artificial flavor. See, they're not even using everything real. And then they put in tetrasodium phosphate, which draws minerals out of the bones and stuff. So I'm going to be using more bone broth this week to cover up for what I have here. Thank you, Kathy. And good afternoon, everybody, and Gary as well, and Lily. So I am disappointed using these, but I read every marshmallow they had, and none of them compare to mine. And I have a recipe to make marshmallows, which I will be making in the autumn. It's just that we had a lot of chocolate and we ate them all up. I only got like 3 left. All right. Okay, we're gonna need, I haven't read this recipe. I just like the picture. So we're gonna make this. I'm going on a limb here. Okay. All right, you want us to line a baking sheet with parchment paper, okay? Okay, well, we'll find out how they come out soon enough. Now, you're not going to get these things to go in the direction you want, so roll them in the other direction so it sort of straightens them out. We used to iron them on the ironing board, believe me or not. We used to take the parchment paper like this because there were some materials that we couldn't put a hot iron on it, but when we sewed with it, we had to press them. So we would use a towel or parchment paper, but I don't know if this is the same kind that I used to use, so I would use a towel. Thank you, Lee, and good afternoon, Samuel. Yeah, let's go and do these cookies. I don't even know how they're going to come out. I had to go and buy extra candy. They have a lot of butter in them, a lot of peanuts. Listen, just listen to the ingredients. We need butter, marshmallows, vanilla, salt, confectionary sugar, and we need salted, dry roasted peanuts. I don't have to worry about those. I bought those like that, so I don't have to do that. A pound of soft caramels, a whole pound, that's a lot of candy. And sweetened condensed milk. Now, doesn't that sound like it's going to be a good cookie? You have to admit it does. So, all right, you just want me to put this on a baking sheet. Okay. I didn't get a baking sheet out. That would help if I get one out. I really have to get more baking sheets. This is the only one I have. My other baking sheets, somebody 5-finger discounted them when we moved. Yeah, people just love my equipment. I lost 4 sewing machines. Every time we moved them, they disappeared. I came to the point where, no, you can't, I know, if I have to move, my sewing machine is on my arm. That's it. You're not getting it. I'm tired of losing my sewing machine. Because my husband knows I really know how to sew. I'm not a tailor, but and not a seamstress, but I know what I'm doing. I'm lining it right now. Just give me a minute. Okay? You want to see what I'm doing, you can. I'm just in a good mood today. I found everything I needed to cook with, so I was really happy. I was afraid that I couldn't find the potato flour for a while, so I looked it up to see if I could cross it. And it said, with potato starch, and they said, no, you cannot. They are not the same. I said, okay, that's fine. Kept looking, and then behind something I found, because you pull things out to see if sometimes they get messed up in the store, and I found what I was looking for. Okay, put that there to hold that down. All right. In a saucepan, a very large saucepan, they say. Okay, what are we going to put in here? We're going to put 8 tablespoons. In other words, really a stick of butter. Hi, Seville. So good afternoon to everybody. So we got 8 tablespoons of butter, which is a stick. Marshmallows. How much marshmallows do we need? 4 cups. Wait till you see what's going in this. You won't believe it. I would call this Fatville at this point. I know what's in it. I'll get a sugar high off of this. I should say a sugar headache. I see on marshmallows, they say it's gluten-free. Of course, there's no starch in it. And they say it's fat-free. Of course, it's not fat-free. No artificial colors, which it doesn't have. But you notice how it doesn't say the chemicals that are in it? They've bypassed that. You have to be on your toes with them. By the way, when I went through my pantry, it's 4 cups of marshmallows, remember. When I went through my pantry, I found I had double bottles of stuff and everything else. I have so much condensed milk in there. I said, God, it'll last me a whole year. Okay, here's 1 cup. Yeah, I know, it's an old song. I'm an old girl. And it was before my time, but I liked it more. That's 3. You know what I'll probably do with the rest of these marshmallows? Throw them out. Because they have chemicals in them. I'll just empty them out and throw them in the trash. Yeah, I'll do that. Because I don't want to keep them in the house. Okay, we got 4 cups of marshmallow. What else do they want us to put in here? 2 teaspoons of vanilla. Okay, we're done with that. All right, and salt. They want a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I am not using my kelp mixture on this. I'm going to use iodized salt because it will interfere with this flavor here. All right, what do you want us to do? What sugar? Oh, you want the confectionary sugar. Oh, okay. Confectionary sugars there. Okay, we got this. Okay, I'm going to move you over here. I should peel all this off first before I get there. Before I turn that on, we have put that to the side because I've got a lot of these I have to open up. I need my scale. I know you can't see what I'm doing here. Oh, watch, why'd you lose your puppy? PGE, I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, probably crying because of the marshmallows. I'm going to throw them out. Yeah, well, I'm not going to keep them. If I don't need them, they're going in the trash. Now paper there. We need 1 pound of these. So we're going to have to peel every last one of these. I had to buy 4 bags of this. This was like $25 or $20. They were what, $5 a piece? 5 something a piece? Yeah. Well, at least I know how to make this kind of candy. And I'm using Werther's caramel. These are the ones I got. I never go down the candy aisle. That's like me going down the cereal aisle. Only for hot cereals, and very rarely do I do that. So what have you guys been doing? Come on, you know what I do. I told you I go shopping on Friday. So we're going to make a spread for crackers. It's got carrots in it. Do you know I'm only at 2 ounces? So I buy as much. Watch, I asked you, what happened to your dog? Why couldn't you keep him anymore? Was he sick and just got old? Is that what happened? We're at 4 ounces. Anybody look at the trash, they'd say, you really have a sweet tooth. Oh, really? Yeah, I want to grind up the strawberries and put them with guava and see how they come out as muffins. My sons were telling me they miss the muffins to munch on. I said, okay. He said there's nothing to eat. I told you, my family uses muffins. Most people have their children snack on crackers or something like that. Me, I'll make the muffins and make sure they're good and healthy. Okay, we'll get rid of this. That's a little over 4 ounces. By the way, these are addictive. You've got to be very careful with this candy. We're going to use a little over 3 packages. That's why I had to buy 4. Because I usually don't put candy out unless it's during the holidays. During Thanksgiving, Christmas time. Not Halloween, because you get a lot of candy during Halloween. I agree with you, B. It is disgusting at times. They think they're cool, but they really aren't. Just ignore them. Because that's all they've got. Dating them would be one of the boringest things you could ever do, dating somebody like that. Because they don't offer you anything intellectual or anything else. And if you're married, if you think there's a lot of sex in marriage after you have children, you can hang that up. And then in retirement, and you think, oh good, the children are gone, then you get medical issues. I mean, if it's not one thing, it's another. You put too much emphasis on one thing instead of what's really important. Have a girlfriend. She has been having an affair since before she was married, and she even married and continued the affair. Well, her husband is broke. Her husband is out and gone because of it. He couldn't take it anymore. And then on top of it, her children have no respect for her. They knew what Mama was doing all that time. And she thought she was cool, and she doesn't know that they know. I mean, the children look at me and they're wondering, am I like her? And I said, no, I'm not like her. She has her own karma that she has to deal with. You know? We're getting there. I'm at the halfway point. Oh God. How long have I spent, what, 22 minutes doing this? Don't worry, all of this is very important. Hi, Judy. Nice to have you back. How have you been? How's life treating you, as they say? When I used to grow up, they used to say, how is life treating you? So tomorrow we're making hamburgers. We're going to have a smoky Gouda on them. We're going to put bacon on them. And the hamburgers are going to be made with lamb, pork, and beef. I'm thinking about a red onion. And I'm making the cottage cheese because we're going to serve fruit and cottage cheese next to it. So it's going to be a very big, heavy meal. But it's summer and that's what you think. Salted nut rolls. I'm also making cottage cheese for tomorrow, and I have a spread. I bought some crackers. I'm not good at making crackers yet. I'm working on it. And I even show you my flops so you know, that's how I am. And this has carrots, smoked, or is it roasted paprika, and stuff in it. And I said, I've got to make this spread. It sounds like it'd be a nice snack. You know, if you have crackers and the spread around, the children would be getting their vegetables, get some spice. And I bought Triscuit crackers, so they're not just salt and white flour. Oh, this one's coming apart. Okay. It must have gotten hot. So we're going to be busy, but we are going to have come cook with me, and we are going to make fish and chips, English style. Yeah, those are your memories, and they're beautiful, Sky. No, this morning I was actually going shopping, Judy. I go shopping Friday morning. I try to leave between 6:30 and 7, get there early. I try to get back, but it never works. I talk to the people that I know in the fish department, and I go into the meat department, and I talk with them out as well because they're nice and they're working. Then I go into the dairy department, and I have to give my son's messages to some of his friends there. Then I go through the regular aisles, and I look for his other friend to say hi to. Then I go to the fruit and vegetable section, and then I go and sit there and talk to my girlfriend. And then when I go to the register, I have to wait because the cashier who does me, she's a very nice lady. She's been through a lot, but she's still very, very nice and still keeps a smile on her face. And I visit with her, so by the time I leave the store 3 hours later, I'm racing home like a maniac, so I have to get something prepared. Oh, don't forget the deli department. I have people there that I talk to as well. Then the customers, there's some customers that see me all the time, so we get into the store and we see each other and we stop for about 10 minutes chatting. I can't get anything done. But everybody's nice, so I don't mind it. When people are nice, you enjoy talking with them. But I've been cleaning out the pantry. I'm cleaning out. I cleaned out all the top cabinets, washed every dish in the top cabinet and everything else. I got my seasonings back in order after being messed up. I couldn't find anything, and I had to clean that out. That took all day yesterday. There was really a lot of work in that. I couldn't get around it. I've got all the bottom cabinets. What cabinet did I do? I did the drawers. I did that section of the cabinet, but I got that one. I did that one, I got that one to do, and I got those to do. And I've got cabinets and drawers over there, a cabinet there. I can walk out of this kitchen and then go do the last set of dishes. Because like I said, I have 5 sets of dishes, but the bone china is in the china closet. And that's a set of 8 or 12, so picture that with the crystal. I gotta do all that, then I'm gonna go into that closet in the dining room, and I'm gonna tear it up. And go through all the rags. My sons have put everything in the rag. Some of those rags cannot be used as rags, so I'm going to have to throw stuff out from there and get that done. So I'm sort of loaded down with stuff. I still haven't gotten to the yard yet. My son says, "Have you done the yard yet so we can mow it?" Hello? What do you think I've been doing? I already cleaned the refrigerator. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 more and we'll be done with this. 1 more. One more. God. So then I go upstairs. I've got to clean the cabinets out in the bathroom, in the hall, and then my bedroom. 1 pound. Got 1 pound. Okay, let me put this on the side. Okay, I got that done. You're also going to need a 14-ounce can of sweetened condensed milk. I have here. Okay, Judy. Hi, Judy. Edward. Oh, okay. So you know what we're going to have. I had wanted that recipe for many a years, and it happened to be in this tiny little cookbook, and I found it. So I was very happy with it. I did not know that you used beer, and I did not know that you used potato flour. But if I use potato flour, man, what? I'm thinking what I couldn't do with it. There, I go there. I'll taste it and see how it comes out, and then I'll see what I can do with it. We don't need these. These can go in the candy dish. All right, we need okay, they want 4 cups. I'm telling you everything that we need, so when we go to do this, we'll get it 1, 2, 3. We need 4 cups of confectionery sugar. Now, if you want to know how to make confectionery sugar, it's just regular sugar. Hi, Kamal. It's just sugar blended up really, really fine. That's all it is. So if you have a food processor, you pour some sugar into your food processor, let it run until the sugar turns to powder, and then you make confectionery sugar. Now you know how to do it. I made a whole gallon. And this is the confectionery sugar I made. That's 1 cup. Let's get the other 3 going. And they say, how long do you blend it? You blend it until it becomes powder, that's all. If you run your motor too long, just give it a break, and then once it cools, start up again until you get it to that state that you need it to be at. That's 2. So you need to think, you could buy 50 pounds of sugar and what you can't do with it. There's 3. So I like the idea that I can make my own, you know. And just like the sugars I make, light and dark brown, it never dries out because I make so much, and then I just use it as I need it. Okay, we got that done. We don't need the salt. What do you want me to do with the peanuts? Okay, we're going to need a food processor with peanuts. We'll do that after. Okay, so I'll have time to do the peanuts after. Okay, now we're ready. Get over here, and I better plug you in because I will forget, and you will go dark on me. I have a friend, Aradia, I think I said that right. Kamal, I'm not sure I said it right. Aradia. I think that's how you say her name. I'm trying. Okay, let's get this on a medium heat. And we're going to have to whisk it. They're not telling you to use a spoon. They're talking about whisking this. They say you have to whisk until it's smooth. Ouch! Shoot! Dang. Yes, I burnt my finger on that. It sparked on me. Oh, that hurt. Well, I got a burn. I don't believe that match lit me. And I'm fast moving my finger. Dang. This is almost like candy, I guess, that we're making. Now, I can't whisk this right now, so we're going to have to wait. But I'm going to go plug you in, okay? Mm-hmm. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Hi, sir. I think I said her name. Ari. Is the D silent? Adria. Haya? I got the Haya at the end. Aradia? Aralia? I think that's her name. I'm not sure. Okay, how do you expect... Well, the butter's going to melt and we'll just wait. So now we're going to wait. Don't worry, I have a whisper. God, that really hurt. I don't believe I did that. All right, because the marshmallows are a bit chunky, I'm going to use a wider whisk. As you can see, the whisks come in different. You see how they come? This one's finer, and this one is for other things that are thicker. So I use this whisk. Now, if you want for eggs, or a batter that has eggs, you can use this whisk. This is a really good one too. Especially when I want to fold in, I can use it. Or I can use this when I have a large batter. So they come in different sizes and for what they're used for. When you buy whisks, make sure that you get them in different sizes. You'll need them. What? Bubble guts. I don't know what you're talking about. Hi, Harley. They should call this candy instead of cookies, but that's what they're calling it. Be very careful. I can feel it wanting to stick, especially on the edges. Not so much in the middle, but on the edges. Most people don't think about stirring it there. All right, now you want me to stir in the sugar, okay? I'm going to put all this confectionery sugar in here. Everything's melted, so now we're adding this. Turn the heat off. Oh. Are you sure? Okay. Oh boy. You didn't say condensed milk. do this. This is gonna stick. All right, get off of this. See, they say whisk, but I'm seeing I'm gonna need a spoon. Okay. Feels like my spoon is going to break. Does that tell you how full this is? But you've got to stir this all in. Let me get a mat. I'm going to need it and move it over here. Now they want you to stir this. Get the lumps out of this. That's going to take a bit of work. We have to cool this so we can cool. Okay, I see you, mister. Sir, I know you're on Earth. Back there, I don't want you in the way here. I'm just actually trying to stir in all of the confectionery sugar. You'll see lumps, and as you stir it, you'll see that you're getting less. But it's getting very firm. Look, what do you want me? Am I going to need this? So what do you want me to use? Confectionery sugar? Okay, you say so. I don't know how that's going to work. They want us to knead this and have a scraper as well, to knead it with a scraper, but not to do it until you can handle it, because it's very hot. So right now I'm just trying to get all the confectionery sugar blended into this. Oh, somebody sent me a gift. Thank you. I didn't see it. Mr. Carr, thank you for the star. It reads that you sent a star. Thank you very much. Somebody. Okay. God, this is really getting thick. So we'll use confectionery sugar because they want us to knead this some, but I'm still going to stir this until I can get most of the bubbles and confectionery sugar mixed in this. So as soon as it's cool enough, we're going to handle it and knead it a little bit until shiny, and then we're going to sit there and we're going to divide it into 8 and roll it into logs and put it in the refrigerator. As I stir it, they are breaking up. No, that's still very hot. That's not very sweet. I've had sweeter things than this. Okay. See, this is too hot to handle. When I'm stirring it, that should help cool it down. I'm going to be Superman when it's over. Hi, Matthew. You all must know each other. I hope you can see that these things are finally hiding. Confectionery sugar's coming more and more into it. Now, because we're going to be deep frying fish and chips, be aware that if you don't have something to watch, you'll need a thermometer. They call them candy thermometers. They can clip up to the side of the pot, because we have to get that oil up to a certain temperature. If we don't get it there, there's nothing we can do. And you're not going to be able to know just by looking at it. And if it's too hot, we'll burn it. If it's too cold, it's not going to cook. Paper towels, yeah, we'll probably drain them on paper towels. You'll need bowls, measuring spoons, dry and liquid measuring cups. But those are usually standard if you bake. If you don't, that's what you'll need. I know this is hot, we have to wait. How did you know his name was Carter? You guys know each other. Maybe from other channels, I don't know. As you stir this, you will notice the lumps from the confectionery sugar do disappear. That's why I'm stirring it, to make sure I have as few as possible. I do have some still that need to be worked. So you will need a saucepan as well for the fish and chips to put the oil in. But I will be doing a video making sure you have a list of everything you need to buy so we can make it. And Idaho potatoes, a knife and a cutting board. If you have a fish store, they'll cut the fillets exactly where you want them. They want the thick part of the cod, not the thin part. Still a bit warm to handle. We have to wait a bit. Now they're only going to sit in the refrigerator for a short time when we get the logs ready. Let's see what we can do while this is cooling because it is really warm. Well, this is cooling a bit so I can handle it. You're going to put a condensed milk can right here into another saucepan. Let me just turn it. Oh, did you have fun camping? Ebrom? Yeah, I'm going to. Looks like somebody's getting a delivery or something. What's going on? I really hurt my hand. That's the stupid bus. Put your caramels in with the condensed milk. Now they stuck. Don't take them out. I should have stuck them in the refrigerator. I told you I'm not good at making candy. Look, my hands are warm. You should melt, so I should be able to dig you up from this. See, you gotta be careful with candy. No, not yet. This is candy I'm making. Actually, cookies. They're more like candy. That's it. Come on, let go. You're probably saying, she's making a mess. Of course I am. But I'm having fun. And I'll get over it. Okay, now you want to let go. Okay. This is just like the toffee that we were making one time when I was a little girl. My parents were pulling this until it got hard like this. So it's bringing back memories. I pulled it clean across the kitchen. That was the last time my mother made candy, and she got rid of the equipment for making candy. I think she tried it because my grandmother was very good at making stuff like this. Sandra, you should have picked an easier cookie recipe. I know. Oh, Jesus, I am going to hurt myself. Oh, dang. That's it. We're going to go another route before I rip my nails off. Take some advice. When you weigh it out, put it in the saucepan with the... Oh, my God. You're not going to have long to stick to the spoon. We didn't call this caramel. We used to call this toffee. If they said toffee, I would have known what I was up against. I told you I'm going to get this sucker out. Yeah, as I rip my nails. They're doing a movie on Michael Jackson. What you have to do is read his, if a book is written about him, you could just do that. I remember when he was a little boy, Michael Jackson. And he sang with his brothers. I think it was known as the Jackson 5, if I remember correctly. He didn't have much of a childhood. His father used the children to make money. And I remember when Jackson's skin was a lot darker than what it was when he died. But I think he was afraid he couldn't be accepted. He had the voice and he had a lot of skills. Okay, I can't get the rest off. I'm going to let it soak. Okay, we can put you to the side. I'll get to you soon enough. You get hard in that pot. And I want the last 4 tablespoons of butter added to that caramel. One, two, three, 4. Okay. Bus driver's talking quite loud. All right, we're going to orange long rope. Okay. All right, we're going to have to knead this still pretty hot. They say the scrapers you're going to need for this. I would use a metal scraper for this. Because you're going to have to get it up off the table. It was. It stuck, Matthew. Yeah, and he had his brothers who were the background to the music. You want me to do what you want me to do with this? I'm going to need confectionery sugar. And people think cooking isn't strenuous. Could you imagine? Well, you see a lot than I do, but you can imagine how strong these women were. Plus, they had that heavy cast iron pots they had to use. Could you imagine? Oh, this is going to give me the same problem. Look at this. I'm going to be fighting to make. Listen, and if you're weak, don't do this. Okay? I'm going to warn you ahead of time. Oh, nothing wants to come out. This. Yeah, I could see why they'd stay together. That would make good sense. Oh, God. Don't worry, this isn't much better. Oh, you're just going to cut it in the paper? Yeah, right. They probably had the man do this work. Don't you dare just sit on your side there. That's the only way I'm going to get you out. The first thing they should have said on this is you're going to be fighting this. You need to arm wrestle this. Okay. Let's see if it's 4. They'll probably want 8 pieces each in this. And I bet you my sons will tell me, I like this really a lot. Could you make it again? Just so I can arm wrestle. Okay. Remember, this is confectionery sugar that we're using here to knead this. Now they want you to do it till it's smooth and elastic. Just like that. Okay? Let me see what else they want me to do with this. They want this in 8 pieces. So we'll make it in the shape of a pie or a circle. About the same length around. All right, we got 8 pieces. Oh, now you don't want to separate, right? Be aware it's going to try to go back together. Yeah, well, they say these are cookies. We are making cookies. If it was candy, it would be in my candy. All right. They only want them 4 inches long. So these are going to be little. Well, that's a little longer than 4 inches. Okay, we'll pat it up. Okay, it's going to be more square with me because I'm not that good. All right, so I got 4 inches. What do you want me to do with it? Okay. You know this baking sheet? You're going to put them on there. This is not going to work. Let's get it closer together. Once you get it in a ball and it's smooth, it's easy to roll it back out. This one does not want to stay round. It's a little longer than my palm here, to give you an idea of 4 inches if you don't have a ruler. It's more trying to get them the same size. No. You are too long. So you need the confectionery sugar so you can roll these a little better. Okay, Rudolph, if you wish to close the chat off on your end. Okay. Yeah. Canadian meat pie. It's delicious too, and I make it. My girlfriend gave me the recipe. She gave me her mother's recipe, and then she said, this is the Canadian one. I really like that Canadian meat pie. It's really heavy. And what is it that you put on it? A sauce on it? Not ketchup. It's something. Anyway, I have that recipe too. Okay, Rudolph. Yeah, there are some pies. Shepherd pie. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Yeah, the recipe. I read the recipe, and she said it is very, very popular. But her family didn't seem to like some of the ingredients, and they changed it around, which is all right. But I go back to the vet now. We're going to put this in the refrigerator while we get the nuts going. As soon as I can find a place to put you guys. Okay, I'm going to clean my mess up. And you're dirty too. I got your feet all dirty. This is more like a candy because I've dealt with some candies with my grandmother. She really had to work and they stuck to everything. All right, what do you want me to do this? I will do that in a minute. 15 minutes for those in the oven, refrigerator. So now we're gonna have to mince some nuts. All right, I need my, do they want the large ones or small ones? How much are we doing? 2 cups? I can do 1 cup at a time. Okay. Food processed sugar. No, I was listening to a program on Instagram, and this guy was talking. I really was listening to him, and I said, dang, if he ain't right. They said that women, and they did a poll on this, they actually said women vote Democratic. They don't know me very well. But anyway. And they always vote for the Democrats. Most women do. Oh, we got to turn this on. I want to turn that on in a minute. Let me get my peanuts going. He said that women will vote Democratic and that they sit there and say abortion, they have to destroy the baby that she carries, so they call it a clump of cells to dehumanize it. And the thing is that the women are going to destroy. We need 2 cups of peanuts, I think. Hold on, I'll get 1 cup in and then I'll give you an exact measurement. But she destroys, they say, they use special terms to desensitize about killing babies. 2 cups of salted, dried, roasted peanuts. I was listening to this article and I said, dang, if he's not true about that, you know? And the things that they sit there and say, they need liberation. But women think different. They're more humane. This is why it's difficult for women to murder and kill. But they have to be in a position to do it, like harm their baby or the family, and they will do it. Other than that, they just don't do it. Men have to be calculative and have to step beyond. I told you I can't do this. Why aren't you listening? Hi, Happy. Uh, 12, hi. At 12F. Right, let me just call you Freddie, okay? So anyway, he was describing it. And I said, dang. And there was one woman who's talking, and she said the rights for women to vote should be taken away. Men will vote Republican because they understand more than the women do. The women are the humane. Oh, just because he killed somebody, we'll put him in jail for a few years and let him out. Men do it, hang the bastard. You know, that's it. So, women can get upset about it, but it's really true. We don't think alike or anything else. Unless you hurt her children, then she becomes more vicious than a man. Hate to say that, but it is true. All right. Well, where do you want me to do the peanuts? About 10 pulses? Okay. Oh, boy. Well, that's better. They want you to pulse them. And I was listening, and I said, this is very interesting. Though women will not like what he's saying, but he's telling the truth. Ask any man. Try holding a conversation on one topic, and a woman will take you everywhere else. But all right, they say pulse 10 pulses. I did a little more until coarsely chopped. Some of them are chopped, some of them aren't, but that's all right. To a shallow baking dish. Okay. Pie plate. Should do that. I just bring topics that I hear about that come across the news feed. But the Democrats needed to sit there to destroy this country. They had to destroy the family. Like one woman said to me, yesterday. Well, just because the black brought slaves over doesn't mean the whites had to follow them. Hey, they saw an opportunity, not having to pay people and making money. And don't say that didn't happen then too, because that's what we do today. We're always trying to get a deal. We're always trying to get over or something to get it free. So you can't say that we still don't do it today. You finagle to get work done if you have a contractor. If you have somebody making your clothes, you're going to sit there and finagle. If they say one price, you're going to sit there and try to get it lower. So it's the same thing. 4 you, 3, 4, Jiggy, out the door. I haven't heard anything. No, I cannot. You're going to have to wait, Sean. No, whatever. All right, we're going to heat this up because we're running out of time. With those in the refrigerator, so we're going to heat this up. You have to worry about the caramel, it's going to melt anyway. Yeah, we're almost done with this. As you see, we're going to be back at this again. Well, it's going to have to melt some for me to get anything going here. So anyway, I was listening to what this guy was talking about. Just like I listen about what they've learned about the Shroud of Turin. They say Turin, we say Turin in Texas. And everything else. But it was interesting that the men are coming out, and I'm really glad to hear this. One young man said, you shouldn't have to show your body, because that's what prostitutes do. I told you that time I walked, my girlfriend said, roll your shorts up. Sandy, roll your shirt up to under here. My mother came up behind us. Oh, Kathy got a talking to. I got my ass whipped. And it was her idea. I guess she was afraid to do it, so she said, Sandy's stupid enough. Yeah, I was stupid. I have nothing to scrape that off except heat. Well, it's starting to separate just a bit. Can you imagine how good these are going to cook, taste? So what we're going to do is melt all of this together. They said stir it, but I can't. Good morning. It's good afternoon for me, Edward, though it's good morning for you. Yeah. The story of his life. Stir, yeah. Well, this has got to melt and heat up. There's nothing I can do. Okay. I've been pretty busy. I ran around this morning at the store trying to get stuff together. Came in. I was racing to get stuff. I prayed. My younger son, please make a pot of coffee. Please pack it for me because I'm not going to have time to do it. And he did. He realized I didn't get in until late. And my other son was heading out. And I I told a friend I need 2 sandwiches. And I said, hustle. So he did, and he got me my sandwiches, and they're very good. And I picked up grapes because it was the only thing I could think of to go with the sandwiches that would be good enough. Came home, packed it up. He was up. I hadn't even gotten the food complete. I just got the food started unpacking. He came down, and I had just gotten everything together for him to take to work. The other one wasn't going to work today. He had somewhere else he had to go. So I had to get him fed and get him out. And I told him, do not, if I don't answer, it's because I've got a live on. And what did they do? They called me anyway. So that's what I go through. That's my life. So the peanuts I put in a pie plate. They want this melted together. I don't know how it's going to go. So you can see it's really sticking. They said continue stirring this to make sure it doesn't burn. No, I did not, Edwin. You got that right. I'm getting tired. Why did I think you were going to do that to me? You still have to melt all of this. What do you want me to do? Handle this hot? I'll put my hot hands on this. Need a mat. Throw it over here somewhere. have that I can dip this in? Come on, Sandy, think. Oh, they're hard. It would be easy to do. Has it been 15 minutes? Yeah, it's been longer than 15 minutes. It's been 20. Now, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know of anything that I can do this. I only do half at a time, I think. I should have done this in the summer. I have to get this out, and I don't know how I'm going to do this. Ah. I might need more peanuts for this. Well, we'll find out. Yeah, that's hot. Yeah, they look bigger than they should. You might need more than 2 cups of peanuts. God, that's hot. So I want you to press these peanuts into this. It actually makes a big cookie once you start pressing everything into it. But you're going to need more peanuts than what they say. Oh. Well, I can't pick you up that way. I'm going to have to pick you up this way. Okay. This is very messy. If you haven't noticed it, I'm just going to bring it to your undivided attention. Come on. gonna need some more peanuts. Sorry, this is taking I'm handling hot stuff. That's what's the problem, is it's too hot to handle. I already threw it in the sink and it's wet. Sorry about that. Almost threw you to the floor again. So I'm going to use my small one here. Where are those peanuts? I don't even know if I have enough peanuts. That's all I have. I have no more peanuts, so I don't know what else I could do. I could have bought more, but they just said 2 cups, so I figured that would be more than enough. Okay, back to this again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We'll be missing 2. Okay. It's really hot. When you put this in the refrigerator, it's going to get hard. And you'll be able to work to cut them. So I want you to cut them into 1-inch circles. So I told you, my grandmother was here. She'd have it down 1, 2, 3. Me, she'd say, Sandy. And I said, I know, Grandma. Burning myself and everything else. It tastes more like a candy with everything that we've put on it. 2 more. I don't know if that's going to fit. We're going to try. Make it work. And I'll show you what they look like. Right now they look a mess. Oh my God. What you're hearing is construction. in a business that's across the street, which is right on the river's edge or inlet or whatever it is. But I could walk across the street and go, and you know, because New Jersey's right across the way here. Come on, stick. I don't have enough peanuts for the last one, I don't think. See, it's hard because we chilled it up, but once we put it in that, it melts, and that's where you end up with the problem. And it's hot, and you've got to stir it in there. And everything is so tacky and so warm. Okay. I have to get these in the refrigerator now. They have to stay in that refrigerator for a good hour. All right, that's pretty much it. And then what you do is you cut them 1-inch little ones across the logs. They want them 1 inch, and that's it. Oh, I've got a mess to clean up now. Now that's it. These things are called salted nut rolls. Okay, that's it. That's the name of these. And we'll see how they are tomorrow. They just have to stay. Rudolph, if you come to the metropolitan area, do not take a hotel in the city. If you drive, oh, I wouldn't recommend it because they're really crazy drivers out here. Take a hotel. If you drive and you can get past the New Yorkers, I would tell you to go ahead and drive, rent a car, and drive into the metropolitan area. That would be easier because the hotels in the metropolitan area in the city are extremely expensive. There is a hotel that's that way down South Avenue in Staten Island. I think is more reasonable because I have a friend who's going there with his dog while his apartment, his home is being worked on. And I think that would be a nicer place. You wouldn't be completely in the metropolitan area where you're bombarded with all the news and everything else. I should say the noise. Even my sons don't like me going into the metropolitan area. So I would think that'd be better if you do something like that. New Jersey has hotels. You can rent a car, which would be better. But you could try it. I think you'd be wasting your money going directly into the city. I think you would do much better if you went to New Jersey. I think the prices would be better. Yeah, I'm on the other side of the river from New Jersey. It's not free groceries, you only get $50 of free groceries, but you have to spend so much money to get the $50 free. Mandami is pulling a wool over your eyes, and if you're not on top of it, you're not going to know about it. Because I live here, well, I really don't live in the metropolitan area. I sort of live on the outskirts of it. And, but we can feel his effects over here, which I don't like. But the idiots voted him in. Anybody who thinks, every time you think something's free, I'm going to go back to slavery. It's the only way I can explain this. The whites saw an opportunity, an economic opportunity. When a black slave owner came in with his slaves, and they realized that they wouldn't have to give them a wage. They could buy them or gamble or whatever to get them. And the thing is that that's free labor. He really doesn't have to care about caring for them, and he can multiply them. Sex. So he sees a profit that he wouldn't have to work so hard to do his land. Now, one lady sat there and said, well, they didn't have to follow, but the economics of free work. Now, you know today that we sit there and we finagle trying to get stuff free. Other people steal. Comes down to even wills. When people die, the family fights to get whatever money they can, not obeying to the rules of law. If a husband dies, everything goes to the wife, which is standard. But now, oh, well, I am a second cousin over here, so therefore I married into the family, so therefore I have a... This is how it's going now. It's getting stupid. So people are getting lazy, and they like the idea of getting stuff for free. So when Donnie sets it up and he says free groceries, he doesn't put that little stipulation in there. He puts in the stipulation that you have to spend so much money before you get so much free. But people think it's free. Like they say, he said, I'm going to give you free transportation. You don't have to pay to get on the bus or the subways. That's interesting, because there are people that drive those buses. They have a family they have to feed. They work for the city. The city has to pay them. So Madame says, well, I'll sit there and tax the wealthy. And if you own your own condo or home and it's paid up, you're going to pay half of what it's worth in taxes, and he wants that yearly. Is anything free? So the people who are driving the buses and working on the trains and repairing the buses, and the drivers and the conductors and everybody who does this aren't going to be getting a paycheck. So you want free rides. They want to feed their family. Think about it. You sit there and say, the cops are picking on us. We have black on black crime. I mean, you're doing it. And as soon as something happens, help, police. But if you don't want the police, you don't have 911, so if there's a fire, well, you don't want them. You want them to come save your life, but you don't care if anybody else dies. But if they're not paid, it's not going to be done. You want sanitation. They work for the city. All these people work for the city. And you think about it. Don't pay your taxes, or the wealthy leave and all that money goes. These people aren't going to be able to support their families. It's a whole vicious cycle that you're talking about here. Nothing is free. Nothing. The only thing is that when you have the right to life, once, when you're born, but if you commit a crime or you think things are free, it doesn't work. What socialism does is it takes, and communism takes your responsibilities away. They tell you what you can learn. They can tell you how far you can go in life. They tell you a whole lot of things, but you can't make any decisions for yourself. They make the decision. The state controls everything that you do. And from socialism, you go to communism. And in communism, if you have a knife or a gun or anything like that, or even blades to sharpen the blades on your lawnmower, you have to have it reported to the government, and then the government will decide if you're a hazard or a danger. And if they think you've got too many weapons or your knife is too sharp, and I talked with somebody who was under communism. She said we had dull knives, we couldn't sharpen them. She sees me go, and I go and go sharp, my sharp, sharp. And she told me, your knives are sharp. I said, yeah. Why? So that's what socialism is, and it tells you what they're going to tell you, but they're not. Thank you, Brad. The thing is that they're telling you what you can do. They control your life. They control your knowledge. They control the news. They control all of this. In America, thank you, Brad, 5 times over 10. Yay! Oh, you're going way over it, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Shane, for the sunshine. That is beautiful. So, Americans don't accept communism. Somebody told me here that they were taught communism from the time they were young. I wasn't. I was always taught the constitutional republic. So that's how I see it. Anybody who tries to sway me otherwise, I like my freedom. I'd rather take my responsibility. Hi, Brad. I'd rather take my responsibilities for my actions and what I do. Yeah, so, and they found out that if women vote, they always vote Democratic. They feel like they're oppressed and everything, but they're not a man. I'm sorry. It doesn't work if you like it or not. That's why they had to get the woman and the family separated. This is why the Democrats did it very carefully. Separate the man and the woman. We control the children. We control their thoughts. When you had the family structure, the husband would be at that school and said, wait a minute, you are not teaching this. Oh, we got... No, I don't make my own aprons. I used to, Jiggy, sir, but I haven't, because I haven't been able to find cotton material, 100% cotton. I just found it recently, so I'll probably take up sewing within a year. It's just that I have to get things done first. But that's what it is. Socialism, sex education, and now we have transgender. We have, I call them shams, trying to teach that they can be loving and gentle to your children. I would not want them near my children. So in that aspect, I see a lot of wrong. We have to go back. Men, you have to stand up, and you have to put women back in their place and put them where they belong. They should not have the right to vote. At this point, I can say this. Women, I'm talking about myself as well, because I am a female, that women should not have the right to vote. Those people that believe they're a man in a woman's body or a woman in a man's body, you got mental issues. In my point of view, remember, this is all my point of view, you belong in an institution. You're not straight, okay? And people who hurt little children when they were thrown into prison, what those men didn't do to those men who hurt children, because those men said, I have children out there. I do not want you hurting mine. So they make sure he hurts, and he hurts bad. If he doesn't, and he might not even survive. But nobody has to agree with me. But in my time frame, and remember, I saw when the teachers left teaching the children, and when we started getting foreigners in, my husband could not understand his teachers at all, because they had such broken English. It was very hard. So he was learning different languages so he could understand what they're saying. And I saw that. I saw the women walk So we're talking, I saw this, let's see, about 50 years ago, 50 years before I started having a family. I saw it. I saw it all unfolding. And I said, this is going to be a problem. This is going to be a problem. He and I said it. It was going to be a very bad problem. And it has turned out that way. I think when women left, remember, they left the home when I was a teenager. So I'm even going further back. So that's about 60 years ago. I saw that, women leaving, and said, I won't go back. Go back to what? You just kicked yourself in the ass and you're killing yourself. When I grew up, I knew I could not go to a bar because that was a place where men went to get away from women. So they had time to breathe to be men. They had men's clubs here. I used to see men would always be walking on the outside. They were walking next to a lady. Today, I could say they're walking next to sluts the way they dress. He always was on the outside because men are more aware of the danger and stuff to protect the woman and his family. Families used to eat together. I'm not going to touch that, sir. When it came to families, family would always have supper together. I don't think many families have the children and the husband and wife at a table. I think it's help yourself and get whatever you can. So I disagree with that as well. Right now, my family, well, nobody eats together. If we have a day off, we all eat together, but that is very hard. As for diversity, you know something? At this point, I'm not talking about color. I'm really not. I'm talking about morals. Society built on a foundation, okay? So I'm not talking about diversity in the fact of skin color. Black families, red families, yellow families, brown families, white families. We all had families. We sat down and we ate together. I see people eating on, we used to call them coffee trays, and watch television. And they're each individual, not paying any mind to each other. Or you have people at the table with a phone. If I'm eating by myself, I'll turn the phone on. They can entertain me while I'm working and while I'm eating. But if I have guests over at the house or I'm eating with my family, there's no phones at the table. Nothing. We're going to eat and we're going to eat as a family. I keep the morals at situations like that. But I disagree with a lot. But remember, I've seen 73 years. And this whole crap started when I was a teenager. And I watched it all unfold. So you couldn't change my mind. Society is not better. Society is worse. The family structure in a lot of America is destroyed. We have opened the borders to a lot of unsavory people. All right? Now, everybody that was in this country used to be a Christian. We were Christians, different. It could be Protestant, Baptist, Catholic, Episcopalian, and a whole list. But we were all Christians. Having Islam into this country is a total against our religion. And their religion is to destroy every Christian and kill them. Be it giving them 1,000 cuts, chopping their heads off. And for the people that are gay and sit there and fight for Islam rights in this country, I want you to know, if you feel so comfortable with the Islam religion, go over there and see how fast you get off the plane. You will not hit the ground before your head is off your shoulders. So you better, and when you think about it and you know this, now I'm talking from 73 years, you might be talking from 20 years or 50 years or something. You might be talking from 80 years. You know, some of the things that I talked about are very true if you're older than me or you're my age. It stands there. You can't deny it. You can't cut it any other way. So we've got like an infection in the body. If we do not cut it out and remove it, this country's going to fall and fall very hard. We will lose our West Coast. We will lose our East Coast. and the South. So you think about that. When you cut all that away, what are we left with? Very, very little. So, oh, there's a God. Believe me. Yeah, well, of course, anybody who sits there and disagrees with me, I can pretty much say that you're a Democrat. But remember, I was raised at a time when family structures were very strong, morals were very strong, society as a whole was strong. It's so fragmented now, it's ridiculous. Like I see Democrats getting between ICE and illegals. You can't do that. If it was done in my time, you would be shot. If a police officer has a criminal with him, you get between them, you get shot. You interfere, you get shot. They're using rubber bullets. Us, they use the real thing. They killed some of us. Believe you me, there was more to it. Maybe we should go back to public hangings. Maybe it'll shake some shock into people and realize you can't do what you're doing without doing it, paying the price. God, you can leave. We really don't know. God, you really don't know what you're talking about. You must be a very stupid individual or somebody's sex who's trying to save his sex, trying to change it, or you could end up being, you just dropped out of school because you were too stupid. These are things that we were taught. Yeah, they should go start their own. So when the country goes, I know the country is going to become isolated. We're going to become an isolationist. You don't see it now, but it will. And you can't believe the East Coast and West Coast will fall. Well, when the first one falls, look for it, because that's what they said in Atlantis too. Part of Atlantis fell into the ocean. They didn't listen. The next part fell. And then all hell broke loose. So you don't have to believe me. I hope I'm not on the earth when any of this happens. I hope by then I will be home. You're a Democrat. You're all over it. Why don't you go find a Democrat that you love? Okay, but anyway, I'm going to let you guys go. All you have to do is, if you make this recipe, be careful, do not get burnt. And if you take the soft caramel, put it in the pot. You're going to melt it, because you can see I struggled with that. And make sure you cut the logs in 1-inch pieces. And that's it, okay? Judy, you take care. Bye. And everybody else, except for the ones that are, they use all sorts of words and they think they're smart, but it doesn't faze me. I have 73 years. And remember, I lived through all of that. So you can't tell me something I don't already know. I observed, saw Kennedy, I saw Bobby, I saw King, I saw Malcolm X. I saw them trying to make an attempt. It's gonna rain? Okay, I gotta go, but I've seen it. All right? Well, I'm glad you saw the Easter Bunny. Maybe you should be in an institution. God's, and you notice how you take God, and you're trying to say you're one. I don't believe it. Okay, you probably are very, very dumb. All right, so listen. All of you take care, except God. I would say something very vicious, but I will be very polite. We'll just bypass saying good evening to you. Take care, all of you. Enjoy your evening. And for the other people who just woke up, enjoy your day. Bye-bye.